she's in a different seat today. Well, actually, it might be in the same seat, but a different job.
She's in the hot seat today.
She's in the hot seat today because she is co-host of Around the Lake, which is Thursday morning, same time as our show on Friday. We have Karen Dortschy with us. But today, we're going to talk to her about her business, are we not?
We are.
She's got a great sounding business, Haute Dauge Portraits.
Hot dog.
And tell them how it's spelled.
Haute, like haute couture, and then Dague, Dauge, but it's pronounced dog.
So you can't spell any better than Joe.
Right. And then portraits.
Portraits.
Haute Dauge Portraits.
In fact, that's your website too, is it not?
Yes.
Haute-Dauge
Portraits.com. HauteDaugePortraits.com.
You better say that one more time, because I'm positive there's about 652,000 people who didn't understand that. One more time.
Okay. HAUTEDAUGE Portraits. PORTRAITS.com.
All right. Now people are wondering, what in the world is that business?
Well, I'm a professional pet portrait artist, and about 2 years ago, I decided to start. I started painting and realized that what I had was a true gift, something I'd really never developed.
Wasn't that you didn't know that
I didn't
from a
know
long time ago? Well, you didn't know you could do it as a business, right?
I didn't even know I could paint, actually.
Okay. Right.
I went to a wine and paint type of place with some friends, and at the end of the event, people said, "Oh, Karen, look at your work." And I said, "Oh, come on, everybody's work looks like mine. It looks great." "No, look at your work." Well, it inspired me to continue, and my dad had done some painting. He gave me some of his old supplies, 25-year-old paint, basically. And I started painting.
25-year-old paint.
25-year-old
Guess it
paint.
doesn't dry up.
It still worked, believe it or not. I painted.
You sure it wasn't a little crusty like Wayne?
A little crusty, yeah.
A little crusty.
I painted one for my sister as a gift, and her friend, her neighbor, said, "I want one. I want a portrait of my pet." Now, I work from photos because I feel like photos really kind of capture the moment of that pet.
Because the dog won't sit still.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the photos stand still, too.
Well, especially when the animal has passed. It's really
better.
It's hard to paint an animal that is no longer with us. So I decided to paint from
Well, you do some great work, so people ought to jump on your website. You've got some great examples on your website.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can hold those up for the TV camera as well.
Okay.
And you're on video, so you can hold those up there so people can see what you're doing. As you're doing that, it kind of, I like for people to describe how they found and created their business. So don't go back to 1962, but talk a little bit about how you got here, sort of your story on how all of a sudden you are now making money painting photos of dogs.
And she does have an interesting story, I know.
I actually had a marketing company, marketing, branding, social media business, first with a partner and then on my own.
Which is how we met.
That's how we met.
Wayne. That's correct.
That's exactly how we met. And I still do some marketing for several local businesses and organizations in the Lake Norman area, help with their social media and their public relations. So that was really the focal point of my career. I had 25 years of experience in corporate, left corporate in 2009, was downsized, could not find a job where they said I was overqualified, whatever, got caught in that recession area. After marketing, and I realized I was chasing clients for $100. And after managing millions of dollars of budget in corporate life, I realized this wasn't fulfilling anymore for me. I was doing so much work, so much effort, and then I was chasing a client for 4 months for a $100 bill.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is not fulfilling. I'm just not doing what I want. And right about that time, I had started to paint and as a hobby, just something fun. Then I went to see Oprah Winfrey in a big workshop that she was doing around the country, thousands of people filling an arena. And I went with my mom, my sister in New Jersey, and the whole focal point of her message was live the life you want. And I thought, wow, that's powerful. I wasn't living the life I want.
That is the story of my life. People make fun of me about, but that is absolutely so true. Absolutely. It is absolutely so true. I mean, I tell people my life is exactly the way I want it because that's what it is I want. You know, my wife loves to go to the beach, and you know I'm not a beach guy.
Yeah, you let her go
and
by herself.
My friends say, "Why don't you like the beach?" If I like the beach, my home would be on the beach. It's on the lake because I like that.
Right.
So, and that's what you represent. You just
really
absolutely
important.
represent exactly what it is you enjoy.
It's so important, especially as we age and find ways to be fulfilled. It's so important to find ways to be fulfilled and do things you want to do, not just that you have to do. Now, I was very lucky that my husband was very supportive of this and said, look, if you want to start shifting away from all of this marketing effort and really put your effort into painting, I will support you financially in the beginning as well as emotionally.
In the beginning, if not.
Right. And it actually... It's been less than 2 years that I've had my business, and I just sold my 35th painting. Now, in a 2-year span, that's pretty amazing for a professional artist to sell that many.
Great.
And all my work is on commission. I don't sell anything where I just paint the painting and then just put it up for sale. It's all by commission only, and this is the key to my success. The customer pays me 100% upfront. That's an unbelievable thing.
That's a good business to have.
Yes. And what happens there is if they're not satisfied and they don't love the final painting, I will give them their money back.
You know, it's funny. I heard that you were doing this, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm not a dog guy. I got a big lab, but I got it for my son, right? Every boy needs to have a dog, you know, and I'd love to be able to kick the dog every morning, but my wife and son won't let me, right?
Somehow, Joe, I'm not surprised to hear that.
So I'm thinking now, there's no way that anybody's going to buy to paint a dog. I'm sitting here talking to you and got 3 texts from 3 of my friends sending their photos. Hey, I want her to paint my dog too.
You know,
I get it, but I only get it as people that I know are asking for that, right? I mean, so this really is a market.
So Joe's not going to be a client.
No,
but his wife or son.
Right.
My wife would absolutely want this. I got a good friend, Chuck. He sent me the photo of the dog. You know, so, I mean, it's it really is something people really want.
You know, it's interesting. Is most people will see their pets as they're part of their family. They're truly their fur babies, and whether it's a dog, a cat, could be a horse even. I paint horses, a bearded dragon. Somebody asked me about painting their bearded dragon because that was their pet and they're part of their family. So people do believe that, and yeah. I do too. I have 2 dogs of my own. I'm an absolute pet lover, and they want to capture their pet for all time. It's truly an heirloom, and because it's such a part of the family, especially when the kids are little and a dog or a cat grows up with the children.
So what's the most rewarding client or situation you've had since you started doing this?
You know, that's
the
a great
one that
story.
wrote a check and she didn't have to go chase
Yeah.
after it.
Actually, a woman, I met a gentleman that he wanted me to paint his 2 dogs. One had recently passed for his wife as a gift, and I learned from her in a very long story that they were PTSD dogs, and she had been shot in the head by her nephew 10 years ago, and she barely lived. They found her in a pool of blood, and the son came home, and it took her 9 or 10 years of rehab, and these dogs became her lifeblood. She was so afraid to leave the house. She was afraid of life. She was afraid of everything, and just the dogs became her way of getting back to normal. And so because one of the dogs had passed, I had to take the 2 photos of the 2 dogs separately and marry them together, and that's the only part of it I do digitally. So I married the 2 dogs into a picture on the bed, at a bed, and then I painted those 2 dogs to look like they were laying side by side. Well, when they received the portrait, they cried, and it's such a fulfilling thing for me that my work is living on beyond me in somebody's home where that kind of emotional connection.
Yeah, it's certainly something they're never going to get rid of.
Yeah, well, none of my marketing work, all the years, nobody ever cried over the logos.
Right.
Is this the one right
This
here?
is the one, and
Hold it up for the
actually,
camera
I'll show
here.
that.
So the one at the top is the picture, and the one at the bottom is your painting.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
cool.
the people on the radio cannot see this.
No.
But we are videoing it, and they can get on the website and see it.
That is
On my
correct.
website, I have a picture of the photo that I work from and the final portrait of every piece I've done. So you can see the photo and the final portrait.
Okay, so what's the cost to do this if my wife talks me into this? And my 3 friends that want it
Right.
done as well. I think I got your year covered right here on the Texas.
Right. Actually, that was one thing that a business coach suggested. I start raising my pricing. So I'm still.
Oh, great. Just like Wayne, right when I need
Wasn't
something
me. Wasn't
done.
me. I would never.
And
yes, I
let me
would.
just preface the pricing issue by saying every piece, whether it's a 12-inch by 12-inch square, or right now I'm working on a 3-foot by 4-foot painting. They take anywhere from 15 to 35 hours a painting.
Oh, I believe that.
It's
I mean,
huge.
it's beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
a huge amount of work. My paintings start at $259, and that's for the 12 by 12, and then they go up according to the size of the canvas.
Right.
And I only paint on archival quality, museum quality canvas using top quality professional, UV paint.
You're not using your daddy's old.
No longer.
Crusted.
I've invested.
She ran out of that
I've
on
invested in some
painting number 12.
good quality paints.
Hey, Karen, it's great having you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
How's it feel being in the guest seat instead
Well,
of the
you guys
in
are
charge?
just so fun, and it's just been a great event. I
Well, I'm
appreciate
fun.
the opportunity.
Joe's not that much fun. But
Stop with the bell, man.
If you're interested in my work, I have a Facebook page, Haute Dauge Portraits. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and of course my website has all my portfolio of work.
Okay, give them your website one more time because
It's-
I
Spell
got
it.
3 people listening and they're
It's www.haute, Dauge, Dauge, portraits.com.